Now, just like with anything else, you know, of course you can do it, and the entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well. However, under the EPA guidelines for compressed natural gas and conversion kits, there's a certification process. In order to get a, let's say, a 2008 Chevy Tahoe engine certified, it's very specific to that year, model, and make of that car. There's a $100,000 application fee or inspection fee that has to be paid to the government in order to certify your particular engine components as EPA certified and regulated by, you know, along the federal guidelines. So there are very stringent regulations out there. There's only a limited number of companies. There's two companies, main companies out there that do it for Ford, and two main companies that manufacture conversion equipment for Chevrolet. Unless the equipment is coming from one of those companies and is installed by an authorized installer of those companies, it's not EPA certified. It isn't available for tax credits, and also can put you at a great liability for anything that happens.
But Britt, if somebody does have a better mousetrap, where does he go to get certified?
What has to happen is these upfitters, what they're called upfitters. They take the engine, they put an injector on it. They have another computer typically that controls the injection, the air and natural gas mixture. And what they have to do is they have to meet the same EPA emissions from that vehicle with that new equipment. So they have to take it to a lab. Typically there's one in Detroit where they take the vehicle and they test it for about a month to make sure that that engine, when it runs, will have no more emissions than it would have had with a gasoline engine.
Okay. Now, it sounds relatively simple. It sounds like it's the thing to do, but it sounds a little expensive. I mean, you will get tax credits on the other end, but say a small business person says, well, I'd like to get the tax credits down the road, but I need some cash up front to convert so that I can get to this point. Is there some relief there? Is there any discussion about some legislation that would provide maybe some loans?
Well, there is some in the 2000 legislative session. Senator Nick Gotro and Mike Michoud proposed legislation to create an alternative vehicle revolving loan fund, which would allow for only municipalities.
Oh, governments.
Governments. Okay. Governments, political subdivisions, and your institutions of higher learning, so that ULL, for instance, could apply for these funds. It's a low-interest loan repaid back over 9 years at a 0.95% interest rate, so that while they get the loan, convert the vehicles, and they pay the loan back as they're saving on the fuel, so that upfront cost that is often troublesome for a city's budget, especially in today's times, you don't have to take that upfront hit, and you can basically spread that cost out as you're realizing the savings. There's lots of grants that the federal government has available for all kinds of different programs and through the Department of Environmental Quality, and those are available to any entrepreneur that wants to go out there and spend the time and the effort with a grant writer to go out there and see what's available. But there's money available at the federal government for businesses at all times, and there is for this as well.
Okay, so go ahead.
I was saying, in addition to that, for the non-tax paying entities, some of the tax credits are transferable. So if you want to buy a vehicle, the manufacturer may be able to take that tax credit and pass those savings to the non-tax paying entity.
Okay. Now, we have also had experiences here in Lafayette 20 years ago and then again 10 years ago where a handful of forward-thinking small businesses have tried the compressed natural gas route, and they have backed away from it. But things are different this time. Mm-hmm. Is it not?
That's correct.
Like Acadian ambulance.
The technology is different. I mean, the analogy we use is, would you use a computer that you used or a cell phone you used 15 or 20 years ago? I mean, it's totally different. So that has changed. The availability of natural gas, the price of natural gas has changed. One of the things that didn't occur in the previous cycle was the natural gas companies really weren't involved. And now the producers are involved. We're putting our capital, our resources to promoting this and getting it done this time.
And it's a wall we're having to break through. I mean, there's a lot of been there, done that. You know, it didn't work then. It's not going to work now. Mentality with some groups out there. But you know, I think that as the technology is explained, I mean, that, you know, some of the big things, the emissions used to not even be cleaner than the gasoline engines or the diesel engines. Well, they are now. The diesel engines, the engines that replace the diesel engine are built from the ground up to run off compressed natural gas, which is what wasn't done before. The tank technology used to have 1 or 2 gallons, and now you can have the same size gas tank to some degree that you can with a regular gasoline.
Well, I will tell you that Acadian Ambulance is back at the table looking at doing this again. Do you have a compressed natural gas vehicle that you drive, Britt?
Not a personal one. We only have 3 stations in Houston, so we're we're actually trying to build a station at our office. I did drive over here with the compressed natural gas vehicle that we have for the city.
We can talk about this all day long, but we have to cut it off because of time. We've been talking with Britt Dearman with Apache Corporation from Houston and Gifford Briggs with the Louisiana Oil and Gas Association about compressed natural gas and that conversion. I'm Rob Guidry. Thank you for watching The Business Connection.